7:24 now. As President Obama wraps up his first 30 days in office, his multifaceted plan to stimulate the economy continues to dominate his schedule. Yesterday, he was in Phoenix, Arizona to lay out a big part of the plan, which is to stem the tide of foreclosures in this country and to help the real estate market stabilize. So our guest this morning, Joe Krier, president of Krier Wealth Management, is here to give us the details and explain what you can expect. This is pretty dire because in the past year, 1 in 10 people were delinquent on their mortgages, and 6 million estimated to go into foreclosure over the next 3 years, huh?
Yeah, the numbers keep growing, and part of this is to try to slow down this domino effect. It was appropriate that he was in Phoenix, where prices had fallen, I think, 48% in the last 24 months alone, and they're just trying to get some kind of a floor under the loans failing first so that the real estate prices have a chance to stabilize.
Okay, give us some pointers. What is the breakdown of this plan, and what does it mean to you, me, and everybody else out there?
Yeah, well, first kind of looking at the severity of the problem, there's 52 million homes in the U.S. that have mortgages on them. About 13.8% or so, or 13.8 million of those are actually what we say underwater, meaning the mortgage is greater than the value of the home, and 4 million of those are on the verge of foreclosure today as we speak. So this is a pretty huge problem.
So what does the plan propose then?
Well, there's three main parts to it too that get right to the meat of the problem. One of those is to incentivize banks to refinance loans, and we mentioned these underwater loans. According to law previously, you couldn't even refinance a loan unless there was 20% equity in the home. Now they're saying go out there and go ahead and refinance that loan. The other thing is it encourages lenders to reduce their monthly payments on the borrowers to 31%. And this is, kind of just right before bankruptcy. Someone's got to go in there and try to renegotiate their debt. And this is a part where the money comes in. If you're going to lower somebody's monthly payment from $1,000 to $600, the government is saying, okay, we're going to kick in $200 a month on behalf of that homeowner to help make up the difference, so it's not all coming out of the bank's pocket.
I had an eye-opening experience this week. On behalf of a friend, I had to call one of the big banks to see if we could restructure a mortgage. They told me unless your debt-to-income ratio was $400 or less, couldn't do it, couldn't touch you. And I said, well, what if it was? And they said, well, you'd pay half the mortgage for 6 months. At the end of those 6 months, you pay the rest, and it negatively affects your credit. That doesn't sound like a lot of working out on the bank's part to me.
And the banks are in a tough spot here. Some of the rules as far as capital requirements and so forth were previously set by the government. So now they're saying, okay, we're going to let you work around the edges of those rules, and we're going to kick in some money on behalf of homeowners. So starting in 2 weeks from today is when the real details of this plan will come out, and you can check, I believe it's government stability or economicstability.gov, the website that'll give you instructions. And if you're out there, you're having trouble with your mortgage, start with the 800 number on your quarterly or annual mortgage statement. That's the best place to go initially.
We've got about 15 seconds left. No plan is perfect, obviously. Do you think this is going to work?
I think this is a good start. You've got to start somewhere. Yeah, there's going to be stories about people that got help that shouldn't have been and so forth, but you've got to start somewhere, and I think this, other than all the money that's being spent, it's a good place to start.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Joe Krier, president of Krier Wealth. If you'd like to talk to Joe, give him a call at 296-8133.